Hi everyone, it's Mike here. So over the past few weeks I've kind of been in a little bit of a creative funk. Now down to a couple of things, just personal things such as should have moved house by now but we haven't, mum being poorly over Christmas and New Year, Ian and I have both had real bad man flus which I'm now starting to come out of, so my creative mojo it just kind of disappeared somewhat. And apart from the Mission Inspiration project that I did on January the 5th, I haven't really done any art journaling. I've not really felt as though I was in the mood to do any art journaling. But when I get into those kind of positions in my head where I just don't feel as though I've got anything creative to say, then what I kind of like to do is I like to sit down and just kind of revisit and explore some basics. So that's what I'm going to be doing over the next few videos until my mojo comes back. I'm going to start looking at my relationship with colours. Thank you, Mr. Bentley. I'll be there in a second. That's once I've sorted Mr. Bentley out, that is. So I'm going to start off today with red. So to do my exploration page today, I'm going to be using just reds. So what I've done is I've gone through my paint collection, all my resources, and pulled out just some red colours or some red supplies, if you like. So I've got Postbox Red matte acrylic paint from Indigo Blue. I've also got Ruby from Dina Wakley Media. I've also got the Sedona because that's kind of a terracotta red, so it still has red tones in there, but there's a little bit of brown. I've pulled out a Festive Berries Distress Crayon. I've also gone into my gelato collection and I've got, actually doesn't say what colour that is on there, but I'm suspecting it's watermelon. That one's watermelon, but this one's a deeper red, so I'm not really sure what colour that is. So I've got those two as well, so they're kind of waxy. Talking of waxy colours, I've also gone into my Neocolor 2s, which are the wax pastels, water-soluble wax pastels, and I have got Vermilion, I've got Scarlet, and there's also Carmine. So I've also gone into my Faber-Castell Pitt pens. These are the artist Pitt pens, the small ones, not the big brush ones. And I've pulled out Scarlet Red, but also Caput Mortuum, which is a brown colour, but it's a warm reddishy brown colour, which I want to use to give definition to some of the shapes and things that I'm going to be adding onto the page. This is going to be kind of abstracty page. I'm just trying to reconnect with colour, so and I just want to use this one single colour palette today. Just in case as well, I've also pulled out of my archival inks Vermilion and Carnation Red. So all these different red colours. So I may not use all of them, I may only use some of them, but I will definitely use just reds. So just to prime my page to make sure that the colours are going to spread nicely, I'm going to first of all add a coat of clear gesso. Now I could use white to make the colours pop a little bit, but the idea is to let the pigments and the colours speak for themselves from the product, so I don't want to give them any kind of extra help, if you like, by adding white into the background to make them really stand out. I want them to play with each other. So first things first then, get this clear gesso added all the way across the double page spread, because I'm going to be slapping paint all over the place willy-nilly without a real clear kind of plan as to exactly what it is that I want to achieve. I just want to add different tones, different colours in different ways onto the page. So I also find that doing abstract pages like this, when you're in a kind of creative funk, if you're have a little bit of a a creative block, you're not really sure what you want to do, but you still feel like creating something, this is a great way to sit down. Excuse the squeakiness of my chair. I think it needs tightening up. It's a great way as well of just getting over that initial kind of I don't know what I want to do kind of block. Just sit down with some colour and just slap some colour down. See how it works. Have a play. You don't have to create a work of art. It's all about the journey. Somebody in the Mission Inspiration Facebook group pretty much said, you know, they weren't really happy with the end result of their art journal page that they did for January's mission. And I said then, it's all about the actual fun of the creation. It's not about the end product. I think the famous line from a TV programme from Agatha Christie, the fun is in the chase, not the capture. You know, others have put it differently, as in it's the journey, not the destination, you know, that kind of thing. So yeah, the actual doing is probably more important than the actual end result. It doesn't matter if the end result isn't, you know, museum quality artwork. Who cares? As long as you've had fun in actually getting the colours down there and creating something, got messy, then job done. End of. Right, gesso's on the page. Let me get that dry and then I'll be right back. Okay, so my pages are pretty much dry. So the first thing that I'm going to do is just grab some of the Dina Wakley Ruby, and I'm just going to splodge some down there, splodge some across here, and then I'm going to grab the Sedona and put some there, and I'm going to put some there. Ugh. Splodgy. And I'm just going to grab my paintbrush that I used to put the gesso on, a little bit of water, the brush is a little bit damp, so that's fine. So I'm just going to mix and blend those two colours together on the page. And then do the same thing over here. This chair is squeaking like nobody's business today. It's a really nice rich red colour. Beautiful ruby colour. Okay, so while that's still wet, I'm going to grab some of the Postbox Red from Indigo Blue. And again, I've had varying different results from various different manufacturers as to how these paints react. The amount of pigment, the amount of binder that's in the paints vary from manufacturer to manufacturer. So you do get quite a lot of difference. You know, a red paint's not just a red paint. If you have like a Tim Holtz distress painting with like festive berries or barn door or, you know, candied apple, and you play that against maybe like a Dilutions red or a Dina Wakley Ruby, you know, you will get various different mixes in various different ways to the thickness, the opacity or translucency. As you can see, that the Indigo Blue paint is a little bit more translucent than the Dina Wakley paint. That's showing through kind of whitish on that clear gesso from the Indigo Blue paint. That's fine. Don't mind that. That's cool. So I'm going to get that dried off. So I've got that already as my background. You can see the difference in variation in colour. There is some white showing through there, but that's okay from the page. And then you've got that lighter colour there from the Indigo Blue and that darker ruby from the Dina Wakley and the Sedona across there. So already, you see, that's kind of looking like a Mark Rothko painting, but for far less money. Let me get this dry and I'll be right back. Okay, so page is dry. So I'm going to grab one of the gelatos now, and I'm just going to add some of that red and just kind of blend it into the page. And it may disappear, that's fine, don't mind that. It's all about playing with the resources, it's all about playing, reconnecting with that colour and rediscovering kind of what those products can do, how they work, what you can do with them. Just use them to get subtle variations and shades, blends. Okay, that's that one. Okay, so I've now got all that gelato on my finger. So I'll just grab a baby wipe. And as you can see, it will come straight off because it's water based. So if I got my baby wipe now and went over that page, I will dissolve those gelatos, but I don't want to do that just yet. So I want to add a little bit of darker colour in again now. So I'm going to bring back that Sedona paint and start adding some of the darker colour up here. Do I have an old, yes I do, ink blending tool. That's got a little bit of gunk on but not a lot, so what I'm going to do is I'm just going to grab that. Can you see how that's just come straight off? That's interesting. How I had on the page previously. And the same thing's happened down here, look. I love surprises. Like I said before, no real idea where I'm going with this. I'm just layering and applying paint and see what happens into that background. So let's just get that dried off. Use up what little paint there is left on there. Okay, so that paint is now dry and I've got some real kind of nice texture going on in the background now. So I'm actually going to bring in some of that darker red now. Now the Faber-Castell Pitt pens are India ink, which means that while they're still wet you can manoeuvre them wherever you want to go, or you can manoeuvre them pretty much and blend them with your finger if you've got a water, a non-soluble or a non-porous surface. But once it's dry, that's it, it's permanent, supposedly. And it depends on how the paint reacts with that gesso as to exactly how it's going to react onto your actual page. So look, that indigo blue paint has started to lift off on the gesso, which is an interesting development. So let's see what happens when I add the scarlet. That's a lighter colour, maybe just too light, but it is bringing the paint off. That's interesting. Maybe not particularly what I want to do. Okay, Distress Crayon Festive Berries, let's have a play with that and let's see what we can get out of that. Now this is again another one of those waxy kind of products. I'm not really getting much off there. No real difference. So it looks as though the best results so far obviously being the paint being permanent. Everything else is kind of moving on top of the page, which is okay, you know, as long as we know what we're getting and what we're doing. Okay, let me just dry that off, and then we might be able to work on top of what we've got. Okay, so I've run the heat tool over that. As you can see, I've now got a craft mat underneath my pages. I wanted to bring in some more colours in that red spectrum. So what I've done is I've just quickly gone into my drawer and pulled out some more Dina Wakley colours. So I've got eggplant, which obviously is a purple colour. I've got fuchsia, which is a lighter kind of purpley red. And I've got blushing, which is a complete lighter colour. So what I want to do is I'm going to add some of, first of all, the dark eggplant colour just to the side here. And I've still got that same blending foam that I had before, and I've just grabbed a stencil from my collection. This is my arabesque stencil, which, if you're interested, is available to purchase on the website, on my website right now. This is one from 2018. I haven't started launching my 2018 stencils yet. The designs are there. I'm just waiting to have the prototypes finished and returned back, and then I can start releasing those designs for 2019. But this one I still have stocks of if you're interested. So let's just add some of that purple into the background. Yeah, we can start building up some nice kind of textures using these red based colours. Fade that off. Darken that up into the middle and then fade it away to the end. Yeah, I'm liking that, and I'll do another one just across the middle here. I'll just add a touch more paint, pick it up, and then I can go around just the outside of that heart that I've drawn, just to kind of give it a little bit of definition, and then fade that away, lighter touches. And I like the fact that purple can be either a warm colour or it can be a cool colour, because it's got elements of the warm reds in there, but also a little touch of that cool blue in there too, which is perfect if you want to take it one way or the other. So you can use purple on cool blues and you can use purple on warm reds as well. You get, you know, a pretty nice kind of result from that. Okay, so I'm going to dry that off. So I always like to dry off in between layers just to make sure that everything is fixed and in place and is not going to go anywhere. That paint's dry. Before I add any other colours to the page, I want to add or bring in a different resource, a different supply. So I've just gone into my washi tape drawer and pulled out all the washi tapes that I've got that have a majority of red in them. We're working with red, let's stick with red obviously. So I'm just going to grab some bits of washi tape and I'm going to start adding those onto the page also. I'm going to layer some of the washi tape pieces. I'm not going to stick them down, I'm not going to go over the top with any glue. I'm not interested in doing that. If these stick down, these stick down. If they don't, they peel up. I'm happy with that too. So it's getting the difference, or the differences in all those different red tones that we've got, or that we've been playing with. That's kind of what I'm interested in, is seeing how all the reds work together in a tonal way. Because they're all obviously warms, they're automatically, they're going to complement whatever it is that we're doing. So it's going to be an automatic kind of coordination, regardless of what we actually do, because of those colours that just go. Okay. I like it when you don't have to think too much about what colours need to go with or what's going to give you mud, because none of these, as you can see, they're all toning in perfectly. Obviously you've got the white from the paper or the tissue itself, but you know, one of these days I will get into the habit of folding over the edges of my washi tape. I also like the fact that we've got the lines going in different directions too, which gives, you know, a bit of movement, a bit of life into those edges. Okay, so now if I bring that one down, so it's just over the edge of that heart there, and then do another smaller piece down here. Kind of giving us some nice kind of cross movement too. So because we've got arrows moving in different directions, kind of gives you a nice bit of additional movement into the page. Okay, so that's the washi tapes out the way. Put those away again. So that's more. Ooh, what's that one there? I've just spotted another one. This time it's actually got hearts and arrows on it as well. Okay. That was a gift, quite literally. Let's have that going up there. Perfect. Okay, so now we've got that, I'm going to bring in the other paint colour, that blushing colour, which is lighter. Now, using the same stencil, I'm going to add some lighter red tones into the page. I'm not going to clean it, not going to mess about. So let's grab that and start adding some of that colour. And we can take some of that actually over the top of the washi tape, get those layers working. Yeah, it's gone a little bit darker because I've not used a clean sponge, but what the heck, it don't really matter. It's still a lighter colour and still a lighter tone. Bring some of that down here at this side. And again, bring it up around the shape of the heart. Like so, and then maybe just a touch down here. Yep, happy with that. Okay, so quick clean off of that. let's get the old heat gun on there again. Okay, so starting to look like something. So I want to introduce some text, some script into the background of this now. So what I've done is I've pulled out the TCW Art Is stencil. Now I could have used a stamp to do this, but I wanted to just keep on using the stencil or stencils. So I wanted a darker red than what's in the background. So I've actually gone into my collection and I've pulled out Red Geranium, Ranger archival ink again, because it's nice and dark. I already have a foam on the back of the ink pad, so I don't have to go and find a new one. Grab that, so I can grab the ink, load it up, and then we can start to add some of that darker kind of text into the background. Now, it may not look as though there's much there, but you can see it. It's a definite difference, or there's a definite colour in there. But if you find that it's not dark enough and the tone on tone isn't working for you, then go with a darker colour that's got redder tones to it, such as a brown. So let's just see if that's going to work any better. Just take the colour off there and let's see what we've got. I've got Tree Branch and I've got Sepia, or Sepia. Ready brown, there you go, ready made. No foam on the back of that, so I'll have to use one. Clean one, which I did have to hand anyway. Okay, so we've loaded up the ink pad. And then let's see if we can go back over the top of that other red and see how that looks instead. Don't forget, we're not going for real high contrast. We're going for, that's better, subtles. Yeah, you can see it better there now. So let's just load back up again. Again, when you're experimenting, when you're playing, it is just sometimes a question of trial and error until you work out, you know, what works for you. So you can see there, that text down there, and there's some text there, so I'm just going to add one more little bit just over here, and it doesn't even have to be legible. That's the kind of point of these things. It's just getting the impression of that text being where it needs to be. Yeah, I'm liking that. I might actually still bring in some darker colour. So we'll take that sepia, and that can stay on the back of that ink pad. Put the geranium away. And then that stencil can go away. Alright, so what I need to do now is just make sure that archival ink is dry before I move on to the next step. Okay, so that's kind of dried pretty much how I like. So what I'm going to do now is I'm just going to grab a paintbrush, Dina Wakeling Media paintbrush, and I'm just going to bring back some of that ruby paint. So I want this to be a little bit more flatter. I'm just going to add a little bit onto the page and then just grab the paintbrush. I'm just going to go around the inside of that heart. I'm going to go over the top of that washi tape. You'll still be able to see it because it won't be obliterated completely. Just want to enhance the colour of that heart a little bit more. Maybe time to replenish on some of these paints. They are starting to run out. There we go. Not often I actually get my paintbrushes out to actually paint inside an art journal page. Normally the paints get applied with baby wipes, tissues and ink blending films. I don't actually paint a lot. Okay, and I'm just going to grab a little bit of that pink just to line it up a tad. Subtle. Quite subtle. Oh, the lights probably aren't really showing it too much. It has lightened up. Those little areas, it's given it a little bit of definition, a little bit of gloss and shine, I think. In fact, let me see if I can grab some white. White's a non-colour, so you know, if you're doing a monochrome art journal page, white and black being non-colours are quite acceptable to use as well. That's better. A little bit more. And then just blend that out a bit. And you can always add in a little bit more white later on if you want to. A few highlights. There we go. That looks a bit better. A bit more what I was actually going for, I think. Blend that out. A bit more of the red. That's it. And I think that'll do for that bit anyway. So again, just get that dried off and I'll be right back. Okay, think finally kind of getting there. Just want to add a few other little bits and pieces. Grab some more of that white paint, not a lot. I've got my fan brush. Just mix some of that water with that white and then we can start just to add a little interest just in those areas where there isn't anything. Just kind of help to turn it all together. That'll do for that. And then we've got wet wipe. So we just added a few little splatters there, but I also want to add a little bit more texture into the background. Got some bubble wrap, so I'm just going to grab some more of that white. In fact, shall we use the white or shall we use the blush in? I think we'll use the blush in, the pink instead. A little bit on there, and then paintbrush. Let's quickly wash the paintbrush out. That'll do. Grab the blush in. A little bit more texture. Subtle, but it still falls within that red tone. For those that like to add lots of texture onto the pages, this is a great way just to add some extra layers really quick without too much hassle. It just kind of gives a little bit more interest, a bit of visual interest. That's more like it. And it helps to draw the eye around the page. Yep. Cool. Although I still do want a little bit more white on there. So I'll just quickly show you that. So you've got the bubble wrap just there, look. Just giving you that little bit more interest. But I still want to add some more. What did I do with that baby white? There it is. Just quickly lift that off the mat. And bring that white back in. So even though we've got the white splatters, okay, let's grab that bubble wrap again. And let's go lighter still. And I've still got the pink, doesn't matter. There we go. Let me add in some small touches now of that white, just to kind of bring it all together. There. And if you think that's too much, it's fine. Just grab your pink again, grab your brush, and just go over. Or while it's still wet, you can just lift it off. Okay, I think pretty much almost kind of done with this now. Maybe just add a little bit of that remnant just in that corner. There we go. A ghost. That's all you kind of need. Yeah. Happier. Right, let me get that dried off and then I'll be right back. Okay, so just to finish off the art journal page, I've brought back that sepia archival ink. I'm just going to ink up my blending foam there because I've printed off on my computer just a quick slogan to go with the art journal page. But I've actually printed this off on sticker paper, so it's actually self-adhesive. So I've done red is for passion and danger, so kind of like opposites. So red for love and red for danger. So I'm just going to go around the edge before I stick that down, and I just peel the back off. There we go. And I'm going to put this there, and I'm going to put this right there. And then just go around the edge just to darken that up using that sepia ink. Again, keeping those warm reddish tones going. I might as well do both at once. Okay, so I'll peel the back off. Keep that in line so it readies for passion. And then underneath that we can stick the and danger. There. Like it a lot. So there you go. So it just goes to show what you can do when you just sit down and you kind of just explore colours and shapes and just have a quick play. So I'm just going to quickly sign this, perfect gap just there, look. And I'll put today's date, which is the 10th 1/19. There we go. So that's it. So that's my red page for danger and passion. So I hope you enjoyed watching that kind of exploration into colour. If you did, please give it a thumbs up, or give the video a thumbs up, share the video with your friends, and if you haven't subscribed to my YouTube channel already, you can do so by clicking the button at the end of the video. That's all from me for now. I'm going to go off now and have a think about using yellow next. So I think I'm going to go through the entire of the rainbow, creating an art journal page in this book, one for each colour. So red, yellow, pink, green, orange, purple and blue. So it should take me, theoretically, 7 videos to get through the entire rainbow and the spectrum. I hope you'll join me for those. That's all from me for now. I will see you all again very, very soon. Bye for now. I'd like to say a huge thank you to all of my angels, because without you, these videos would not be possible. Thank you.